Hi, I'm Dr. Angela Spranger, CNU's Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer, and I'm pleased to offer, as promised, this second in a handful of messages intended to help us all become more familiar with the purpose, vision, and terms that are part of diversity, equity, and inclusion as we prepare for our new community learning program that we're launching in the fall. For this message, we'll focus on the visionary concept that is at the heart of all our work in DEI and embraced as a best practice in higher education nationwide. I'm talking about inclusive excellence. This phrase has been around for several years, and it matches with our goals and the vision for Christopher Newport University. We pursue excellence in all things and seek to develop leadership, compassion, and honor in our students. Now we want to embed inclusion in our definition of excellence, right at the center of our functioning in every aspect, from student success to hiring to research. Perhaps a good analogy for understanding inclusive excellence is to think of the emergence of technology and how it has become such an absolute necessity, an integral part of all we do, right? Well, that's what we intend and aspire to for inclusive excellence. Inclusive excellence means recognizing that diversity is not an option or a proposal or a white paper. It does not require approval. Diversity is. Now we need to ensure that it is woven into all that we do as a university community. Inclusion is the active, intentional, and ongoing engagement with diversity in our students, our faculty, our staff, our curriculum, our co-curricular activities, and in our community and alumni. Inclusive excellence signifies a level of institutional success that acknowledges how very much we each, all, need one another, and the diversity of identities, skills, and backgrounds, and thought that we all bring to Christopher Newport. Now, there's a framework to help us structure our thinking and ensure that inclusive excellence is at the heart of our approach to higher education going forward. As a core advisor in the business school faculty for several years, I remember teaching incoming first-year students that we have 4 pillars surrounding our student academic experience here at Christopher Newport. They are study abroad, research with faculty, community engagement, and internships. Well, just like those 4 pillars buttress the student academic experience and identity, so inclusive excellence should become part of our identity as well. And it too has dimensions, 5 pillars, if you will, to help enable us to assess our performance on very specific dimensions in that framework. Those dimensions include access and success. How good are we at ensuring equitable opportunities and equitable outcomes across groups? Now, this is where lots of numbers come in, counting, targets, goals, and they can get us started, but that's not the end. That's definitely not enough. Just hitting a mark doesn't satisfy here, because too often measures just look at labels or surface level identity diversity, and they don't take into account diversity of skills and thought. The goal is to achieve and maintain a more holistically diverse and inclusive undergraduate and graduate student body, faculty, and staff. Climate and intergroup relations is the next dimension of inclusive excellence. The goal here is to create and sustain an organizational environment that affirms and respects diversity and employs inclusive practices throughout our daily operations. Training and education is the third dimension of inclusive excellence. Under this dimension, we seek to engage students, faculty, staff, alumni, and the community in different kinds of learning opportunities to help us all better understand different perspectives, different opinions, and different experiences of diversity, equity, and inclusion. The fourth dimension of inclusive excellence is infrastructure and accountability. We're looking there at how we are put together, how we operate, how we hold ourselves responsible. We create and sustain an institutional infrastructure that effectively supports progress and accountability in achieving DE&I goals. Finally, the fifth area of inclusive excellence involves community engagement, which is already a significant priority here at CNU. In this context, we put what we are learning to work in the community around us through support we provide, partnerships we build, work we do with neighbors, and connections we care for across the Commonwealth and around the country. Now, as I shared in my first message, Christopher Newport has a strategic plan for diversity and inclusion that is driven by the goals and dimensions of inclusive excellence. It also calls for us to communicate our efforts so that all members of our CNU community can feel seen, safe, and valued, knowing that we recognize the importance of making equity visible, of saying things out loud that need to be said, and leading in ways that honor and transform the lives of everyone with whom we work, learn, live, and serve. Next steps include affirming our institutional commitment to inclusive excellence and using the One Virginia Inclusive Excellence Toolkit that's been made available to help us so that we can demonstrate and live into that commitment. That means our Board of Visitors at the university level, our Faculty Senate, our governing bodies like the Dean's Council and Faculty Governance Committees, and other advisory boards are all engaging with us to ensure that we can be accountable for and proud of how we make inclusive excellence an institutional value. I hope this information has been helpful and that if you have any questions, you'll reach out to me through my diversity.inclusion@cnu.edu email address. Please remember that we are all connected, and it's about calling one another in to a new way of being, not canceling or calling folks out. Have a great day, and remember, we're in this together.